How you doing, everybody? Here's another video for you. It's regarding another viewer comment. And keep sending me your comments. Some of your comments are really good. There's some really mindless, stupid, you know, just retarded individuals with no intellect whatsoever, and they send these one-liners. Don't bother with that. Just wasting time. You know what I mean? Just don't. If you're gonna send me anything, send me something that's of value, of intelligence, something that makes me think. You know, something that I can learn from. How about that? I learn from you. You learn from me. I learn from you. Isn't that the way to do this? So anyway, here goes. He says, I had a female friend around 1990. We used to fuck back in the day. Okay, cool. Over the decade, we would fall out for one reason or another, and eventually I would establish contact, and the cycle would begin again. We have been Facebook buddies for a few years after a fallout in 2003, and during that time she was put through the ringer by another guy, and and she aborted the baby. Now she is 48 and was definitely hitting the wall. For some time I have been reading her posts about men and how she loves being single. She loves being single all of a sudden and is blaming everything on her past relationships. And eventually I couldn't stand it any longer, and I typed a message that basically said, "You have made your bed, now lay in it." Ouch. You know, it's kind of a very innocuous thing to say, but to a woman that's like, "Oh my God, you're making me accountable for what I did. You mean you saying I actually chose those son of a bitches? And you know, they were all bad. They were all bad. And the first one was bad. Second one was bad. Third one was bad. Fourth one was bad. The number 48 was bad. Number 52 was bad. They all fucked me and they were all bad." Okay. Okay, baby. Okay, baby. Whatever you say. Yeah. All men are bad, and now you've discovered your life, and now you're single, and you're absolutely fucked, baby. But you're fucked the wrong way because you're 48 and fucking nobody wants you. Anyway, going on with what he is saying. For some time I've been reading her post, yes, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't stand it any longer, so I told her off. And then he goes and says that, I swear, the next day she had defriended me and wiped out my Facebook connection we had because she couldn't take the truth. That's how fucked up these bitches are. Wow, man. This woman is riddled with bitterness about her life. All it took her to cut me off was a true comment from myself. As they say, the truth hurts, and it most certainly hurt her. Women truly are a fucked up species, creatures, whatever. Yes, that's very true. So I wrote a few things here, and here's, you know, I spent a long time writing this out. It's practically like I'm writing chapters in a book here, but so I'm just gonna look at it for some points that I made. And yes, this is a good example of what I'm talking about. It's a spectacular phenomena. Like showing crucifix to a vampire, women are terrorized by any form of judgment, criticism, or accountability. The natural state of a woman, you have to understand, is victimhood. She has learned to gain everything in life through victimhood, right? And she gets sympathy, pity, employment opportunities, economic advantage, protection, support, entitlements of all kind. And she also gets a vulnerable sensuality, which triggers the white knight male. Her victimhood is, so she gets some kind of a sexuality, sensuality out of it too, to being a victim. This is what men are unfamiliar with. They do not expect it, and they're unable to understand this type of functioning. I don't think men go around, or at least the more real men, the masculine men, not the feminized men. They don't go around saying that they're victims. They're going out saying, I'm gonna take things in my own hands and fucking get things done. I'm gonna get things done. But that's not how a woman does it. A woman has to blame other people endlessly as to what was done to her. Her victimhood is what outwits men. It's actually her victimhood that deceives men, that fools them, outwits them, and what makes her the ultimate scammer. Then she sets up her scam. If she's a victim, especially men, and if she's not bad looking, she looks half decent anyway. Men let their guard down, and then she can move in, right? So anyway, victimhood is the essence of being female and all the advantages that accompany it. If you strip a woman of her victimhood, you in essence have stripped her of her femininity and identity, right? You have in essence shamed her publicly and herself. Now, why is this dangerous to her? Because you've busted her, you've arrested her, and you've judged her, right? This is how you end her game. You basically ended her game. You're basically saying, look, I'm not a fool. I see right through you. You fucked up these men. Look at all the mistakes you've made. It's all your fucking fault, bitch. All right? You scammed the men, or you tried to scam the men. They took off. They got your pussy and they left it, and they were smart, and because of that, they're scum, right? They're scum. I hate all men because they're all scum. Well, you know what? Maybe they were onto you. They were onto you, honey. A woman is in fear of the whole world discovering and seeing who she is, including the dirty track record of her past. All right? To a woman, her past is largely a hidden and undisclosed secret. This is by far by her design, because she is ashamed of what she did throughout her life. She made a whole series of dirty blunders because she was continually running that fucking scam. And this goes for most women, right? Well, it basically goes for all women. I don't believe in some and most. There's a model set up, right? There's a model set up, and there's some superficial variations. But other than that, women are going to function as women, and men are going to function as men, right? So I'm trying to set up this camera somehow. There we go. Well, I'm not sure, but anyway, this is most women guard their past for awareness. For awareness engenders a repulsion, and is an antidote for deceit, right? And women know this, so they have to put on an identity. They have to hide who they really are, okay? In every way that you can imagine, right? They hide their appearance, and they hide their character. They hide their past. If you were to look into most women's past, it would be frightening. It would be horrific. It would be just fucking repulsive. All right. A woman, not unlike a criminal, works hard on concealing her true identity because, if discovered, you may just find the buried bodies, ouch, that she left behind. And there's going to be lots of them. And I've been with women, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe, you have to extract it from them. It's like going to the dentist, it's like pulling teeth, you know what I mean? But I do it. I do it very soon after meeting them. And I put them on trial, and I say, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Look what you did. Do you realize what you did? There was nothing wrong with your husband. You do realize that, don't you? You do realize that you've destroyed a marriage. You have fucked up your kids. You have affected every person around you. An infinite number of people that are directly and indirectly involved because of how fucked up you were and how selfish and how narcissistic you were, and how little you cared and how little you understood nothing about male sexuality, male nature, male behavior, normal male behavior. We're not dealing with deviance right here, right? I don't deal with deviance. I don't deal with aberration. I don't deal with sickness, pathology of any kind. I deal with normal, so-called normal, male and female behavior, and how the two differ vastly, greatly, and how the two are so incompatible. That's what I deal with. There's enough material there that there's always going to be deviance on both sides, right? Equal number of sick fuck-ups, really sick people on both sides. I don't deal with that. We're not interested in that. We're interested in normal male and female behavior. So anyway, not unlike a criminal, a woman has to conceal her identity. And the casualties of her female nature are in her past. Okay, her casualties. And she doesn't even want herself to acknowledge that, because that's how shameful it is. Now, by judging her, you expose her very core, which underneath her socially promoted image of goodness, innocence, and civility, her core is dark, black, and rotten. If exposed, you may just assume that she will do to you exactly what she had done to the others before you, and she knows this, and that's why she's got to hide herself, right? So, going right along here, let me just read a few more things for you. Men, as you can see, when it comes to women, there's a lot here to work with and a lot to expose. Any woman, pick any woman, look into her past, look below the surface. There's a lot for you to expose. Okay, you don't have to make anything up.
It's 12.
You don't have to be malicious. Just expose the truth about her. That's all. Judging and exposing is what you must do, or she will continue to destroy other men. Either you or other men, or both. In a cyclical, serial fashion. Women work in a serial fashion, not in a parallel fashion as men can, right? That's why they have to cut it off with you. And then they start their cycle all over again, don't they? Judging and exposing is what you should do. Okay? Women operate not unlike what any serial killer operates as, right? One after the other, one after the other. They snare their victims, and then they go in for the kill, right? A secular society, the state, the law, will not stop her. In fact, they give her license to do this, right? Because why? Because she's a victim, right? Yeah, she's a victim. Of course she's a victim, right? The serial criminal is sanctioned by society and the state, who pander incessantly to her, while you are concurrently vilified. You as a man, you are vilified, and you know this. As far as the state and secular society is concerned, you are the villain and she is the casualty. However, we know it's the other way around, don't we? It's exactly as as women have engineered it throughout what they claim was and still is patriarchal society. What a lie that is, right? For a woman to be judged is very damaging. A woman will never openly judge anyone for this very reason. Why? Why can't she judge anyone? Who can judge another? If you feel that you are clean and you are moral and you have done the right thing, you can go around judging other people, but women can't, because women are rotten inside. And they have the fear that she will be judged herself if she's going to go judge mainly other women, right? She will disparage any man if he is judgmental, as being uncivilized and pathological. She will not openly judge her kids. However, she will not openly judge her kids. She will not judge her girlfriend, her acquaintances. She will not judge her family members, etc. Those who feel dirty and shameful themselves will not be able to judge anyone else for fear that they will be judged themselves. Every woman innately has, due to her female nature and immunity from the checks and balances of a strong conscience, an ample reason and justification for being judged. And this fear keeps her from judging others openly, and only indirectly through gossip. So let me read that again. Every woman innately has, due to her female nature, an immunity from the checks and balances of a strong conscience, an ample reason and justification for being judged. And women are not judged enough. Every woman has dirt on her. It's not easy not to be dirty when you have a weak conscience, as all women inherently do. And if you relate to everyone through feigning your emotions, all right, so they have a weak conscience and they're not really able to feel emotions to the extent that men can. They will never admit to this. Nobody talks about this, but that is the key. They literally, they can't feel it. And that's why they can be callous. That's why they can be cruel. And that's why they can do what they do within relationships, right? There's an unspoken agreement within the female collective. You don't shame me publicly, and I will not shame you either publicly. Unspoken among females is the agreement that they must keep their true identity and character hidden and never forget to wear their mask in public and never put their true nature on public display. Now this is where you come in and you shame them. You publicly shame them and you publicly judge them. And again, let me point this out. You don't make anything up. Okay? If you do that, then you're playing dirty, and the whole thing is invalidated, right? The whole thing is not legit anymore. You have to, and you don't have to make anything up. You just find out about her past and get it out there. Take the cover off of it and expose it. Just the truth. You just deal with the truth. Women love a mask, right? When on display, not very much is real about a woman. The makeup on the skin, as well as the implants below the skin, are the physical components of the mask. However, they not only mask their appearance, but also their character and personality as well. Everything is focused on deceptively and harmoniously presenting themselves in that way, deceptively and harmoniously. It's a complementary delivery and the maintenance of the clean, innocent identity, appearance. Everything is appearances for women. And also they want to give the appearance of someone so easily vulnerable and susceptible to victimization. And we know that a lot of these women are not victims. A lot of these women are very much in control. And they play with men like putty, and a lot of them are domineering, and they're aggressive. They're aggressive in their own way, even if it's passive aggressiveness. This is the female role to play, and most play it exceptionally well. Yet, as we get to know them, and under different private circumstances, we know what a hoax a woman really is. A woman's true nature is ultimately when exposed. A woman's true nature is ultimately when exposed downright horrific. You just look into their past. You look into who they are, and you will be horrified. A woman knows she's rotten on the inside, and she hates herself for this. This is why symbolically she can never be confronted with her past and her insincere, wicked nature. She will never be able to admit to this because it's too threatening to her. It's too shameful. Too shameful for her to acknowledge and accept. The ultimate shaming of a woman is telling her who and what she is. Just tell her truthfully who and what she is. You never need to fabricate anything critical or derogatory. What she is vulnerable to is recognition and exposure. She doesn't want recognition and she doesn't want exposure. If you have unmasked her, then she must make you non-existent and fast. And a lot of us have experienced this with women, and we literally are baffled, and you know, a lot of the male suffering comes from this because males are emotionally involved and women are not. And what they have to do is they have to make whoever judges them non-existent, and very quickly. If she is to live with her shameful self, because they can't live with themselves, they can't live with that knowledge, they can't live with somebody who is pointing out who and what they actually are. They're disgusted. Women are disgusted at themselves, and a lot of their personality traits and their behaviors and their character comes out of this disgust. They need to retain any amount, if they're going to retain any amount of self-respect, considering your female nature, she has to get rid of any connection with anything that is going to expose her true self and is going to bring up her past. She must make you disappear forever and forever deny your existence if she is to have any hope of continuing her shtick and scam into the future. They only know how to operate one way, so if they're exposed, their game is over, right? So that's why they have to get rid of you. It's their natural way of functioning, and the only way she knows and must continue as a form of survival and upward mobility. She can cut all associations with you because now you have become a danger and a liability and a hindrance to her agenda, and besides, you are absolutely of no more use to her. She'll get rid of you if you're of no more use to her. That's how deep her love goes, see? And they can do this because, again, they don't feel it in here. They have a incapacity for feeling emotions. Experiencing this, you have all the evidence you need and can never question your temporary value to her. You have only temporary value to her, as well as her incapacity for romantic emotions, as well as her incapacity for romantic emotions. Her emotions can be switched off instantly, like that, like a switch. And we've seen that too, right? They can be switched on or off, depending on what serves her. You were always meant to be disposable, and it's now best that you are denied of ever having even existed. All right? If you start to expose her, then you will have to be made into a non-person. There is no more purpose for you. Fine human beings women are, right? The female as victim, quote unquote. Yes, right. The female as victim, yes. If you have trouble letting go of your emotions for her, because men feel emotions much more intensely, much deeper, and actually over a longer period. I don't think men don't switch their emotions on or off, right? So if you have trouble letting go of your emotions for a particular woman, then she will have you arrested. Your enduring emotional capacity, your human qualities, are deemed as pathological and criminal in a world that supports and protects the female sociopath. Women must believe their own lies about the false identity of womankind. Women can do no wrong, and it's always the fault of the male, right? That's what the narrative is. Women can do no wrong, and it's always the fault of the male. This lie must be perpetuated as there must be a fundamental lie which acts as a foundation upon which feminism, gynocentrism, and similarly communism is built upon, right? Communism was built upon a big fucking lie, and everybody knew that it was a lie, and they kept the lie going and going and going. Why? What was the purpose of it? Theft. Massive theft of an entire country, an entire population, or countries, populations. If the lie is taken away, they will be naked and exposed as filthy and corrupt. And you will notice in history and in politics that once the lie is taken away, whatever regime we're talking about, right? There's got to be a lie. When that's taken away, you really expose that regime, and you really see how dirty and filthy these people were in their lie. Women must maintain their victimhood always. It's a defense mechanism. They must cling to this false identity to save whatever little self-respect they have given their rotten nature. Otherwise, they could not stand who they really are. Women have a very hard time acknowledging who they are. And that is why they cannot handle criticism and they cannot handle being judged. Why? Because they know inside. They hate themselves. They know what they're like inside. But they just don't want it to surface. They can't handle it. It's too shameful for them. So what you got to do is you got to, again, this is the proactive MGTOW, men going their own way, proactive. We can't just chat back and forth on the internet. That's not going to get us anywhere. And I'm talking MGTOW, non-MGTOW, whatever it is, whatever you call yourself, all right? Whatever, it's men with awareness. How's that for a better term? Men with awareness. Awareness of female nature, and men aware of also, very important, their own male nature, right? And only then can you be proactive, and you must be proactive. You must go out there and be in their face and show them that you are aware and you are smart and you are cautious and you're on to them. They're on to their game, and you can end their game anytime. Anytime. And you can instantly look at any woman, look just a hair underneath the surface, underneath the makeup, and you will be able to analyze her mistakes, her faults, and how rotten she really was as an individual, and the huge damage that she had caused with no remorse. All right, and expose her and shame her. That is your duty as a MGTOW, as an aware man, as a man going your own way, because it's the only way that you will fight against and stop female nature, the horrible aspects of female nature. All right, thanks for viewing. See you next time.